Highly recommended tour, but I have a few issues. The itinerary only had a few stops, which gives the passengers enough time to explore and enjoy each area. Our tour guide is a former teacher and even had whiteboard to show the history of Mount Fuji. Her English accent is a little thick, but we can understand the words enough. During winter, the fifth station is too cold and windy, so you can't really do much other than take pictures, then go inside the souvenir stores to get yourself warmed up. Lake Kawaguchi Go and the ponds were really picturesque views. The lunch at Lake Kawaguchi Go were okay. A little pricey and not a fan of thick noodles. There's a convenience store nearby, 5 minutes walk, if you don't want the food. If you're a shopaholic, 1.5 hours in Gotemba Premium Outlets might not be enough, given how big the outlet is. Trying on clothes and queuing at Ralph Lauren store is already 30 minutes, queuing for the toilet, women, is another 15 minutes, getting shoes and queuing at Nike/NB/Adidas is another 30 minutes, getting off and on the bus is another 15 minutes. We just visited the West, Nike, RL, NB, Adidas, and Hillside area, Onitsuka, and did not bother on the east side. You can opt to stay and not return to the bus, but make sure to inform your tour guide. There's a bus going back to Tokyo until 6:30 p.m. only, but can be quite expensive, 2.7k yen, so if you want your money's worth for this tour, make sure to come back to the bus on time. Joey, our tour guide, is very informative and helpful. We appreciate the knowledge he shared about Mount Fuji and Japan's history. As for the tour, the stops offered great views of Fuji, especially on a clear day. We weren't able to see Mount Fuji on that day because it was too cloudy. But it was still a fun tour overall. We even had free lunch as part of the tour. Smile, our tour guide Yuki was very informative, scored a good deal for our running shoes at Gotemba. This was an excellent tour. We were very lucky, we got to see Mount Fuji and visit all the stops. Amazing views and the guides were lovely. A suggestion I will make is if the bus is delayed on the way back for an hour or over, adding in a small bathroom break. I also recommend, if you're doing the tour, to book on the weekday as there was very minimal traffic. Also recommend bringing cash, as most of the shops in the village only take cash. It was such a lovely tour of Mount Fuji. Our tour guide Betty was lovely. We had an amazing view of Mount Fuji. Luckily, all the stops were amazing and you had enough time at each stop. Betty gave great recommendations of places to see at each stop. The experience was great and our tour guide, Betty, deserves a 5-star rating. She was very friendly and knowledgeable. We went on a Sunday, so it was expected to be jam-packed and heavy traffic on the way back to Shinjuku. But all in all, it was a fun activity. My husband and I recently went on this Mount Fuji day tour on September 3rd, and while the weather was cloudy and obscured the view of Mount Fuji, the tour was still a fantastic experience. Our guide, Dragon-san, was exceptional, friendly, knowledgeable, and full of interesting insights. Despite the weather, his enthusiasm and expertise made the tour enjoyable and worthwhile. Highly recommended for a memorable day trip. First time booking a tour via Klook, was worried that it's a scam. Saw a lot of positive reviews, so decided to try. Booked the day before the trip as the weather wasn't great for the past few days. Forecast today was sunny, so we decided to try our luck. We're so worried that couldn't find the meetup point, as some reviews said they arrived early but tour guide no show and no inform. We arrived super early today, around 7:15 a.m. There are coffee shops nearby so you can have breakfast while waiting. Tour guide arrived around 8:10 am. Big group today, so there are 2 tour guides, 1 Chinese and 1 English. Massive traffic due to accident, so the route changed to Premium Outlet Lake Kawaguchi Fuji 5th Oshino. Time for each place was around 45 minutes to 1 hour. A bit rush but still really fun. Those who love shopping definitely need another trip for solely shopping. It was really hot and sunny today, couldn't really enjoy the stroll by the lake, but it's still breathtaking views. Very fortunate to see Mount Fuji clearly. Me and my mom enjoyed this trip a lot, recommend for seniors who can't walk a lot. Tour guides were responsible, they make sure everyone on the bus before leaving. Glad that our group members were punctual and cooperative. Driver was professional too. This was really the best one-day trip that I ever had. A must-join day tour. Highly recommended.